Hirley. I would just like to echo the sentiments that Senator McAneill has voiced here tonight, as Senator Hayden. I mean, I think while Senator McAneill was speaking, I just glanced around the House and every person from every party was in agreement, and I think it's very important that we remember tonight, you know, every single person that's here only has the good wishes and the goodwill and the best for all children, no matter what, whether they're terminally ill, whether they have a life-threatening condition, or whether they're in the whole of their health. And I think we are all joined on that. I too must echo the sentiments, and I find it really unfortunate. I know I read, you know, the motion put down by the independent senators, and you know, said yes, that's it. But I do agree with Senator Hayden as well, in that I think we need to look forward. You know, we need to ask, we need to look for the HSE to take a more active role in it. We need to that, so that we're not, as she said, you know, collecting mobile phones, you know, for years on end, or having coffee mornings, or more and more fundraising, but that we as a country take more of a role and an active role in providing help and care for children who are terminally ill. Like the others, sorry Minister, I should have welcomed you first. I know from personal detail and personal meetings with Minister Lynch just exactly, you know, how much she does care, how good a job she is doing, and I think we're all agreed again on both sides of the House what it is. And Minister, I really don't envy you tonight, you know, speaking against this. I would like to pay tribute to the excellent work that Jack and Jill, the Irish Cancer Foundation, and all the other groups as well have, that all the work that they have done over the years in providing nursing care and support to children with life-limiting conditions. In Ireland every day, it's a fact of life, there are many families facing this awful reality of coming to terms with having a child who's terminally ill. The very thought of this is not something anyone, particularly those of us who are parents, would want to countenance. Even having to take our sick children to A&E or into hospital can be a traumatic experience for children and parents. A child with a life-limiting condition needs and deserves the best possible care we can provide, as does their family, and I'm glad that so many people recognise that tonight and talked about the siblings and the, you know, not just directly the people involved. Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz was able to get back home to canvas by clicking her red shoes and saying, "There's no place like home." When we're sick or upset, we all long for our own bed and the familiar surroundings of home. And for very sick children and their parents, it must surely be an added strain and stress to be in hospital far away from home. And, you know, I think many of us will have been down that journey, you know, of visiting children in hospital far from home, and you know, the added things that it brings with it, whether it be looking for additional childminders, having to get time off work and everything. Being able to spend precious time at home with your terminally ill child in the secure knowledge that all their needs are being met is a firm goal for everybody. And it is good to know that many children are being looked after by Jack and Jill, but also by the range of services from statutory and non-statutory providers. The Government is committed to the implementation of the policy, palliative care for children with life-limiting conditions, which was launched in 2010, and recognises that there has to be an alternative to inpatient care for children who have been appropriately assessed and for whom a detailed care plan has been established, with the input of the child where appropriate and their parents. But I must say, since being appointed to the Seanad, we have had, as Senator McAneill said, very many interesting debates on very many different topics, where you can have one view coming in, and when you listen to all sides, I think that's what the best, and it's one of the things that, you know, is so good about the Seanad, and would be, you know, one of the reasons why we need the Seanad. But I would just like to, if I may, Laska Hirley, just refer to a briefing that we had here by a group from the Laura Lynn House earlier, just before the summer holidays, where we met the most beautiful family who had a child in the Laura Lynn House, a terminally ill child. And after that, I know I just got speaking to the mother, and I heard tragically about the little baby's death at the end of June, and wrote to the mother, wrote to Sharon. And I was delighted last week to get a beautiful reply from her, and I think it just shows, you know, exactly what these parents, what they were going through. And I know that when, you know, speaking with her, I'll just say, you know, I'm sure she won't mind me reading out a little bit of it, but, you know, she just in a part of her letter, she says, "The spirit of Victoria fills every day with positivity. There is always something to do, whether it's fundraising, Demes or someone calls or phones, that ensures that each day we have a reason to get out of bed and carry on." Now, where I think that is beautiful and it's brilliant, I don't think it should be up to Victoria's mother and father to, you know, be dependent on fundraising or be depending on this all the time. I think the supports should be in place. She just goes on to mention, "Laura Lynn House was most definitely sent by the angels to protect and care for Victoria. She was most peaceful there and so well cared for medically. She was also loved. We were also looked after too and are still in close contact with the team there. Victoria has been working her magic and fundraising has been astonishingly successful and makes us proud. We really want to be there for Laura Lynn as they were there for us." Now, again, I just show, you know, we're talking about fundraising again, but can I just say that I know that I'm speaking with the mother, and thank you, Lass Kearley, I know, but just in speaking with her, I mean, I listened to her. This was their only child, and her husband, they lived in Donegal. The husband had to give up work. He had a farm. He had to sell everything off for the few months that they had Victoria in their lives, to travel up and down on a daily basis from Donegal to Dublin to look after it, because, you know, the hospital in Letterkenny was not you know, equipped to cope with Victoria. So, I mean, if they had, and I know that elderly grandparents and everything came, but, you know, if we had a structure in place where these children could, you know, all the time be looked after, it would be great. Thank you.
Thank you. Senator Mooney.